When properly installed, these lightweight Decra shingles will look beautiful and perform well for many years. In the next few minutes, we will show you the recommended method of installing Decra metal shingles. Local building codes vary. You may be required by law to perform additional installation techniques. In such cases, always follow the local codes. In new construction applications, panels are to be installed over solid decking. Acceptable substrates include exterior-grade plywood, 3/8" minimum or 7/16" oriented strand board, or chipboard. Fire-retardant plywood is not an approved decking substrate. In re-roofing situations, panels may be installed over existing asphalt shingles or applied over existing spaced sheathing. Space between the sheathing must be filled to provide a solid base for fastening the shingles. When installing over existing asphalt shingles, cut back the existing roofing material approximately 8 inches along the eave and rake gable edges. In situations where code allows re-roofing over 2 layers of asphalt shingles, cut the top layer back 8 inches and cut the bottom layer 4 inches. Standard underlayment consisting of 1 layer of type 15 or type 30 felt is required in new construction application. Use at least 4 corrosion-resistant screws. Don't use anything smaller than number 8 size hex head screws, but make sure they are long enough to penetrate the decking a minimum of 1/2 inch. The recommended screw length is 1 1/2 inches long. Do not use drywall screws. Standard metal drip edge should be installed along all eave edges. Square up and fasten the standard edge clip over the metal drip edge flashings. Screws should be spaced every 6 inches. Standard metal drip edge should be installed along all rake gable edges. Square up and fasten the rake gable channel directly to the drip edge. Where the shingles fit into a gable channel, a relief cut must be made for proper drainage. Proper drainage will be attained by removing 3/4 of an inch from the back and front clip locks on each panel. Screws should be spaced every 6 inches. The Decra rake gable accessory provides a finished channel cover for the panels at the roof's edge. It is recommended that roof penetrations be painted to coordinate with the shingle color. Use a matching color and paint it before installing the shingle. Allow enough time for the paint to dry. Mark the underpan for the horizontal measurement. Center the underpan above the stack and line it up evenly with the panel below. Measure and mark it for the vertical measurement. Cut a hole and slide it over the vent. Fasten the back of the pan with 2 screws. Apply a bead of sealant and slide on the vent jack. Secure with 2 screws. Measure from the edge of the shingle to the stack and transfer the measurement to the incoming shingle. Measure up from the nose to the stack and subtract 1/2 inch for slide space. Transfer the measurements and cut out the hole. Next, cut a 2-inch wide notch in the front clip lock. This allows drainage from the underpan onto the shingle panel below. Drop the shingle over the stack and slide it down until it locks into position. Screw down the shingle. Apply a bead of sealant around the bottom seam where the jack meets the panel. Smooth it over and finish it with stone chips from the touch-up kit. Start at the front of the chimney. Slide the first tile under the existing flashing. If necessary, cut a shingle to fit snugly into the gable channel. Cut and shape the roof-to-wall flashing to create a tab which holds to the chimney stack. The flashing should extend 3 inches in the back. Do this on both sides and slide each piece under the existing flashing. Clip the edge of the adjacent shingle. This will allow it to lock properly. Measure and cut a panel to fit snugly into the roof wall channel. At the back of the chimney, lay a short length of starter edge clip. Slide a new piece of flashing material behind the existing flashing. Lay a bead of sealant on the upper shingles and screw down. Seal edges and nail holes around the chimney. Finally, attach a starter edge at the back to accept the subsequent courses. Slide the roof-to-wall flashing into the corner and secure it with screws. Measure and cut the shingle panel to length. To allow for proper drainage, cut a 2-inch notch from the front and back clip locks. The notches should be made where the panel fits into the channel. Lock the shingle into place and screw down. Snap a chalk line on one side of the valley. Use this to maintain alignment. Starting at the bottom, set the valley accessory on the line. Make sure it is centered over the valley channel. Screw down the valley accessory. Make sure the screws are positioned outside the last turn-up on each side of the valley accessory. Slide the next valley piece over the first piece. Make sure they overlap by at least 6 inches. When you reach the ridge, cut the valley accessory piece even with the ridge line. On the opposing valley, leave an overlap and bend the valley accessory over the ridge. Secure it with screws, apply sealant on the joints, and finish with stones from the touch-up kit. To run the shingle panels into the valley channel, measure from the top edge of the shingle to the channel track. Remove the excess material. You can use this shingle as a jig to scribe the angles on additional panels. Shingle panels must be notched where they fit into the valley accessory. Cut 2 inches off the front and back clip locks. The first panel at the bottom of the valley requires an additional 1-inch notch. Make this notch at the front clip lock 4 inches from the edge. Once the panels are cut and notched, slide them into the valley track and attach with screws. Field panels must be applied from right to left. Make sure the front clip lock at the nose of each panel is not bent. When installing the field panels, some shingle panels will have to be cut to create the proper offset. The first course starts at the rake, valley, or hip and continues with full panels locking into the edge clip accessory. The second course starts with a panel that is 28 inches in length. Measure from the left side of the panel 28 inches to make the cut. The nose at the bottom of each new panel slides into the clip at the top of the panel below it. Panels fitting into the gable channel must be notched on the right side to allow for drainage. The panels must be notched 3/4 of an inch at the front and back clip locks. Subsequent courses continue by alternating the full and cut panels. Using the recommended offset, the center of each field panel will be placed directly above the overlap of the panels on the previous course. Position the next panel onto the clip lock of the panels on the course below. Make sure the top clips of each panel are flush. The maximum allowable gap should be 3/16 of an inch. Once the panel is in position, firmly push, by hand or foot, on the panel in the area that overlaps the joint of the 2 panels below. This will help position the panel for fastener placement. After positioning the panel, firmly push, by hand or foot, on the left side of the panel until it is locked firmly into the clip lock of the panel on the course below. Install a fastener in the upper left corner. Firmly push, by hand or foot, on the right side of the panel and make sure it is locked into the previously installed panel. Install a fastener in the upper right portion of the panel. Placing this fastener at a slight upward angle will help draw the shingle panel into the proper locking position. Complete the installation with 2 additional fasteners. After the panels are installed, care should be taken to avoid stepping on the side lap. In situations where the side lap disengages, use a stitch screw to pull panels together and eliminate gapping. The stitch screw should not penetrate the roof deck. Cover the screw head using a touch-up kit. Refer to the Decra Shingle installation instructions for more detailed application information. Position the jacks on the roof. On the shingle panel, mark the width of the jack. Notch out and remove that area on the back clip lock. Flatten the removed area. Place the jacks in the slots and nail them down. Install the next course of shingles. Lock in the shingle and secure it with screws. Now you are able to lay down the boards and continue the installation. Remove the jacks by tapping them upward to dislodge them from the nails. When your installation reaches the ridge, allow the panels to extend over. Use a 1x2 to ensure alignment. Snap a chalk line down the center of the ridge. Remove the excess panel material. Repeat the process on the opposing side. Then screw down the flap. Snap another chalk line down the center of the ridge. Attach 1x2 strips of wood on both sides of the line. Cut a small relief strip on the edge of the first hip and ridge piece to use as a screw point. Also attach at the end. Lock the second ridge piece into the first and screw it down. Trim the last piece to lock securely into the locking clip and valley channel. Screw down. After installation is complete, be sure to clean all debris off the roof. Installation of Decra shingles is easy if these steps are followed. Please feel free to contact us directly with any project-specific questions. Call us at 1-800-258-9740.